I'm Wendy.
I'm Lori.
Welcome to Hot Topics.
Cool friends.
Welcome back, everybody. We have Janet and Ned again for part 2 because, wow, there's just a lot to unpack there.
So fun.
A lot to unpack. So, we were talking about the stars, JFK, and all the things. Can you give us, and you mentioned TNT having
God.
a situation. Can you elaborate on that and who is TNT?
Well, Travis and our little Taylor, who I absolutely love her. I do love her. I think that she has 2 different times of birth, 5:17 and also 8:36 in the morning. So I chose her time of birth of 5:17 based on the way her chart is. And so I see her as a very intense person, obviously, but very kind, very compassionate, always questioning things on a higher level. I feel like they're going to have some differences, and that those differences are going to relate a lot to how they view family, life, children. She might end up with one child potentially, possibly. There's a possibility of that. And he just seems like somebody that he can be very sensitive in his own way, very self-sacrificing in his own way, but also he seems like somebody that down the road he's going to, even though he is well-to-do in his own power, does very well, he just seems like somebody that would be intimidated by her continued success. Because even though I think with relationships with men and women, I think it goes back to the ego. And I feel like there's going to be a power struggle with that. And he's going to need somebody who's going to adore him, which she does now, but she's so amazing and so spectacular. And heck, if she ran for president, she'd win. I mean, she's that good. But she's talented. And I feel like his ego at some point, he's going to be considered Mr. Swift and, versus anything else. So I really feel that that's going to get to his ego. So he might subconsciously go out and look for somebody to validate him. And I mean, I just think that could happen kind of down the road, and that makes me a little nervous.
What's his sun sign?
He is born under the sign of Libra. And so being that he is a Libra, his moon is in Sagittarius. So his moon and her sun sign are connected. So that means that the minute he met her, saw her, he was like instant. Well, she's gorgeous and she's stunning, but he felt that connection. But he also has some pathology issues. Like he's a very traditional person, which is wonderful. But his pathology is that I don't think he lies, but I think he says something because he believes it at the moment, but it isn't necessarily true. And he's passive aggressive, so he'll go along with things, but then he kind of stews about it later. So I was a little concerned about that. I was a little worried about that. I said, I don't know, I just am a little, Swiftie may not really like that. And so he does have that little bit of passive aggressive, but she's drawn to his softness and his sweetness, but then he has a temper issue. I looked at that and went, holy moly, this guy is temperamental, moody, shuts down, and she's a conversationalist. Let's talk this out. And her delivery in relationships is not great. So she has to work on her delivery.
So there'll be a lot of good songs coming out.
Yeah, because that's
usually
why,
what happens.
Yeah, and I said to myself, whoa, this is going to be a rough ride. But I wish she would talk to me because I would get her to get up prenuptial and all that other stuff.
Well, yeah. For those of you listening, reach out to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, please call me.
So go ahead.
So if I came to you and I said, Janet, I see dead people, and I feel like I can get into this business, what would your, I was like teasing, but not. What is your recommendation for people who really do have the gift and their love for astrology is very strong, and they wanted to start doing something with it?
I tell them to meditate. Meditate's the most important thing, because when you meditate, you tune in a lot more. And with people that come to me constantly about they want to be psychics, they want to be mediums, they want to be astrology. And astrology is really hard to learn. Mediumship is also hard because you really tune into that alpha stage of your brain. I tell them meditation, because once I meditate every morning. I meditated this morning. I meditate at night, because even if it's 10 minutes or even if it's in the shower, I shut my eyes and I listen to my breathing because I want to get in touch with the universe. I want to be connected. It's almost like you're plugging into the universe. So I tell people meditate and and also tap into yourself. And when you're in this business, it can't be about you. Because a lot of readers, from what I have experienced, because I work alone and I have 2 girls that work for me, but I find that a lot of people, they'll start doing a reading on someone and then they'll talk about themselves. They'll project, like if they're going through a breakup with someone and the person comes in as having, well, I wouldn't trust him. He's a piece of garbage.
This happened to me once, kind of thing. Yeah.
You can't do that. Yes. And so when my mother was sick in 2009, she was in the hospital for 3 months. She was really sick, and I was having a horrible time. Then she eventually died. I was still seeing people in and out of my office quite a bit, not like I usually do because I was with her all the time. But my clients, when they read the obituary, they called me later and said, You never said anything. You never showed it when you were in the office. I said, my job is to take care of you, not take care of me. You're not there to listen to me. I'm there to listen to you.
Which for a Sagittarian, that's a learned skill.
No, I don't think so. I think you're a good listener. I think you're a really good listener. I think you're a good communicator. Well, you look at the planets. Like when you look at, for example, with Wendy's stuff, her astrological stuff, she's like I am, except she's a Leo rising with a lot of Cancer in her 12th house. I have a lot of 12th house. 12th house means even though you come across Leo very outgoing, you're really a very reflective, sensitive person. At the end of the day, you just want to go home and veg.
Amen.
And am I right? You
does.
love her
She
privacy.
knows that. Yep.
That's why you're
And
not.
she's very calm.
She is outwardly, but inwardly, her brain's always running a marathon.
Oh, if there were thought bubbles above my head, I
Yeah.
would get arrested.
And you're very sensitive. You're very, very sensitive. And
Are
you're very.
you?
She is, and she's very compassionate, but she doesn't show
I don't
it.
like to tell. I mean, like
See,
no
that
one needs
bothers
to
me
know.
that you don't tell me things like that.
Why? Everybody's got enough stuff.
I don't
We
think
don't need
I don't
to-
think it's that she's trying to be secretive
No.
from you. I just think that she lives in her head. She's very intuitive, and she also has a lot of stuff with your parents, a lot with your mom. So there's a lot of that, So you're very intuitive to things that are going on, and she's a very watery person. So even though she's she has this Leo sun sign, which is fire, astrology is earth, air, water, fire. She has a lot of water. So she's very emotional. And this has been a real learning trend since March 2023 for you, because you're going through a big cycle of your life right now.
Well, is that why I get along with my husband? Because he's a Pisces?
It depends on where his moon is at and everything else.
Yeah, we'll
you have to
figure
look
that
at
out
everything.
later.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
'cause-
I definitely like him.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to have a session.
well,
I definitely know I like
So
him.
really-
It's okay.
But there could be differences about how you view money and
Nope.
finances.
We're on the page. We're on the same page.
That we would
It's
look at his
amazing.
birthday. Yeah.
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 So you would, because money and there'd be a
Yeah.
lot of, but if he's a Pisces, you'd have big, heavy conversations together about stuff. You could really sit down and talk.
You don't know how funny that is. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
He says like one word a week.
But
He's very quiet.
But I think it
when we
works for
talk,
you.
When we talk, it's
because
important
because
stuff. Yeah.
it's not everyday chit chat. It's
Right.
more the higher consciousness.
100%.
If he talks, it's about meaningful
Mm-hmm.
conversations. It's not about let's go have coffee and just talk.
Right.
I mean, but he's not like that. And see, so yeah, if he's a Pisces, you would blend because all your Cancer balances. But we don't know what he has in his chart, so there's a big
We'll have
difference.
to figure that out.
And the reason it works for both of you because you're a very strong Sagittarius. I mean, Lori, but you're
I
also
would agree with that.
She's sensitive. She's she's sensitive too, and I think that's why it works for two of you to work together because Lori is a Sagittarius with her moon in Aquarius, so she's also very humanitarian, very giving. The cycle that Wendy's coming out of, this Saturn thing that we're talking about, she's in the second chapter of her life. The first one was 93 through 96. You're going into the second chapter starting February 15th. So you start the next 30-year cycle all over again. This means that there's a lot of changes in your life and a lot of letting go of people that you need to let go of. You're coming into
I do
letting
that
go.
every so often.
You're coming into a letting well, you did go through it in 2017 through 2020. That was 7-8 years ago.
100% correct.
I know, I usually am.
It's true.
I did.
I can't remember 93. I mean,
I don't remember.
Well,
93, but
you
I
were
remember.
27 to 30 years of age, and that you were 90. That was a
Oh, that's
93. So
true.
you were 27 to 30, and
Yep.
that was a big turning point. Might have been education,
No,
work,
it was
a
big
lot of
turn.
life, marriage, a lot of things going on. But you were in a different cycle of your life at that time too. And but you're moving into a really heavy. You're going to become a lot more concrete with health matters and physicality and taking
Okay.
care of yourself, because you went through that in 2017 through 2020 as well. There were a lot of emphasis on work and job and health and things like that.
Oh,
And I don't know what happened to you last June 2025 through this July 1st, but you've been going through a lot of soul searching. That's been since June of last year.
Maybe that's why I have 5 jobs.
I think that she's correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good
As an
now, I think.
outsider, as
I'm
your
good
friend
now.
looking in,
Yeah.
it's,
And
yeah.
July 1st, you come out of it, by the way.
Sweet. It's a party. And it's America's birthday.
There we go. July 4th, 1776,
So
about
would you-
5:30 p.m.
Would
Yep.
you say that we're good business partners?
I think you guys are really connected because I think you understand each other's temperament. I think you, there's no alphas here, which is interesting because in most business partnerships, I see one's always the alpha. I think you both have strength in different areas. You both balance each other out a lot, and you're very considerate of each other and very protective of each other. I love that.
Oh, that's good.
That's so true. See, she's going to cry.
Well, you have your.
She's a sensitive
You're
Aquarius.
a Sag with Aquarius. Well, she's a Sag with Aquarius moon.
Okay.
So her moon sign is into friends and people, but you're like a light switch. Somebody irritates you, boom, you shut them out just like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's because she's Italian.
From
Fiery,
Has nothing to do with her
fiery, fiery. Yep, you got it.
I'm very forgiving, though.
You are.
Well, this was so fun.
It
Can we have a
was.
part 3?
Well, you guys are great. I enjoyed being with you guys and everything.
We should.
So once again, first of all, thank you for all that. Thank you for doing a part 2. But those who have missed the part 1 really need to go back and listen to the episode with Janet Ahmed for the part 1. But can you again tell our listeners where to find you?
I'm on Facebook. I have like 4 Facebook accounts. I have Amid the Stars, AMID the Stars. I have Janet Amid, which I have a little picture of myself in pharmacy with a yellow jacket. And I have The Stars Speak, Janet Amid the Stars Speak, and Celebrate the Senses, which is the name of my psychic event, which I am having September 27th. And I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. I do a lot of TikTok. When I go to restaurants and stuff, I'm always putting. I have to talk about food. Have to, because it's my kind of outlet or something. I like to cook. I'm Middle Eastern, 100% Middle Eastern. So my first language was Arabic, by the way.
Oh,
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Can you say goodbye to our listeners? Or ask
Salam
them?
alaikum. Salam alaikum alaikum salam. Yes.
That's beautiful.
So I said, yeah.
That is a pretty language.
It is a beautiful language. It was my first language. My mother did not speak English. She would try to talk, and I would say, Mom, you've been in this country 60 years, English. And she'd say, no. You know, but she would talk. She understood money and leave me alone and get out of my room. She would say things like that.
There you go. That's all you need.
But yeah, I mean, but my language is my first language is Arabic. That's why when I went to kindergarten, I did not understand anything. So my mom had to, translate. Well, she didn't understand it either. So here you have translators, doesn't even understand English. But yeah, so I had to really learn in time and everything. So when I get irritated, I'll start talking in Arabic, and my clients will say, Janet, you're talking Arabic. I go, I am. I forgot. It
just comes out.
It's just automatic lag. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
It's been so much
Yes,
fun.
thank you so much for being here, and we would love to have you back, or
I would
maybe
love
even at
it.
HIP.
Cool.
Get together.
And remember this, I'm Janet Amid, and we have Lori and Wendy here. Thank you for being my host. I appreciate that. When you understand your stars, you reclaim your power. Don't forget.
Thank you for joining us today on Hot Topics Cool Friends. I'm Lori.
And I'm Wendy.
We would like to give a special thanks to
Chris Pfeiffer, our executive producer, and
Gary Wagner, who wrote and produced our music.
if you guys have any questions or comments and you want to listen to more of these wonderful episodes, head on over to wgte.org/coolfriends or anywhere you stream your podcast.
And remember
To thank your local business owner
and go out and hear a local musician.